Hello everybody and welcome to our lovely new Fleurs collection. So we've got our mistletoe and pine, and this one is building the mistletoe. Now, one of the fabulous things that I love about the die is that we've given you this Swift system and we've done it that it works with the grain of the crepe. Now, I know you've heard me waffle on about the grain before. So the grain works this way, so it's vertical, okay? Now we've done it like this because each one of these cuts are going to be in the right direction. So when you're cutting these smaller ones out, that's the way you lay the die on. And then all of the others have all been actually nested. So again, you work with the grain, lay it on the crepe paper like so, and cut them out, which is just brilliant because once you lay all of these elements out, and this one is swifted. So I can put all of these on my A4 cutting plate, unroll my crepe paper, fold it up, I think it's into 3, maybe 4 you can get, and pass it through. That way you're multi-cutting in one go, which is fabulous. So that's the actual die set. And I've already gone ahead and I've got lots and lots ready cut. So we can just start building. Now, I've got my little tiny ones. Now, when you look at mistletoe, you have got the smaller ones, which are, shall we, like a bud, let's say. So I'm going to take a couple of these, like so. And then the rest of them are the larger ones. Now, when I've cut these out, I have cut them in 2s. And I've also cut them, I've not really been bothered about the colour of my crepe that I was using at the time. Have I got more than that there? Oh, I have, look. An extra piece. Okay, I haven't really been too bothered about what the colourway is. By mixing up the colourway as well, when you're building something that's foliage, you're adding highlights and shading and shadow to it without even having to add any ink or anything. So the very first thing that we're going to do is bookbinding glue is one of the things that you're going to need. You're going to need your Fleurs wires and also a hot glue gun. So first of all, we need our hot glue gun, and we're just going to pop a little bit of glue down the middle like so. And then we're going to start sandwiching these pieces in between the wires, okay, like this. And then sometimes you might want a little bit of wet glue to seal it. That goes on there like so, and squash that down. That's one. But that is going to be my main one that I'm now going to wire the rest of them to. I'm going to snip that away. So that's my first bud. My second one now is again a little bit of hot glue in the middle. I'm going to just grab a new hot glue stick out of my bag here. Like, that's better. Oops. Pop that down the middle, like so. And then pop my wire on. And then these 2 edges, just a little bit of wet glue. And then sandwich that in the middle, like that, okay? So that's another one of the buds. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and now we're going to work in size-wise. So I'm now going to show you one of the finished pieces. So this is what we're aiming to build. Okay, so we're going to make this. So this is very, very natural looking. I love this, how it looks. And again, I've chosen to add a little bit of ink in, but you don't need to. So right at the tip here, we've got the bud one. So we've got the small one. So this is the new growth. And as we go back, that's where we change the size. And we add in the older leaves, the bigger leaves. But by putting wire in the middle, this makes it very, very versatile to add in all of this shape, okay? And then the little polystyrene balls are just glued in afterwards, okay? So pop that to one side a second while we build. So we're literally going to do exactly what we've just done with our previous. We're going to put a little bit of glue down there, like so. Grab the wire, pop that in the middle, tiny little bit of wet glue, and we don't need to go too mad, and then sit the next leaf on top. And by working with them as twos, it means, and then we're going to chop that little bit off, like so, and then I'll move on to the next one. So we're going to want 2 or 3 of these. Okay. Again, I've altered the colourway of mine, so I'm working with 2 different colours. So again, a little bit of hot glue. Just going to spin that leaf round because we've got it upside down. Pop that in the middle. Little bit of wet glue each side, and you can see just how little of the glue that I'm using. And now sandwich this one in like that. So that's the next one. And again, snip that off because we're going to go maybe in 3s. Is when you're working with florals and things like that, and anything that's garden, I know it's called something, but I can never remember what it is. It's to do with how your brain works and how it looks at elements. And 3s just seems to be nice on the eye. It just works. So a little bit of glue down there again. And when we do these videos, I do try to do them in real time and start to finish. So you can see, once you've actually got all of this cut out, it is so easy to build. And that is partly the design aspect. We do it, so we kind of look at in this case, it's a leaf or foliage, and we take it apart and then rebuild it. And that way, we make it as easy as we possibly can when we come to actually make these. Now, as you can see, some of these, I've got a paler colour, and then this one are both the dark green. But I'm not too worried about that because when it actually all comes together, it looks fabulous. If it's like the word when you're working, the terminology when you're working with flowers and things would be variegated. Okay, because it's different colours, various. So we'll do another one of these and then we'll move on to the next size. And just by building these up, and what we're going to work with is that original one. We had that lovely long wire, and we're going to work onto that wire. And as you can see, some of these that I've cut down, I'm not measuring them or anything. I'm literally putting them on and then cutting them down. And it's so we don't waste our wires, because at the end of the day, the wires are really important, but they're also a consumable. So we don't want to put one of these petals on a whole long wire. So that's where cutting them down actually makes it much better. So then I'm going to go for a different size on this one, bringing back in that other coloured leaf. So really mixing it up, and then I think that is the same. That's a bit bigger. You will get to know the ones that are you've got some that you can tell the same, because each one of these dies, the leaves, are all slightly different. And again, that is going to make it very natural to work with. That's another one. That one was folded. So it gives you a very lifelike, free looking piece when we finish building it. So again, hot glue down the middle, pop the wire in, a little bit of wet glue, sandwich the wire, and then snip that one off. So I'm going to keep them in size wise. As you can see, I've started out with these, and that's how I will then bring them in and build them onto that lovely ball of mistletoe. So we can use them as individual elements. Okay, so these can be individual leaves for building something else, or they could be petals, because they don't have to always be leaves. If you want to then start making your fantasy flowers, which is just amazing, think of how many different flowers we can make, because we're giving you so many different sizes. So this is my last one of this size. So again, I'm working in threes, or at least I shall end up with an odd number. A little bit of wet glue. Pop the leaf on top and sandwich. So now I'm going to move up to the bigger sizes, which are these. And then we've got some really super big sizes. So I'm just going to split these out, because again, I want 3. That's 1. I don't mind that that's only half a one, or there's a little bit missing, because that's not going to worry me. And 3. And then we can wrap all of these together. So that one is a little bit bigger, a little bit different. I've got them upside down as well, so turn them round. Glue. Wire. Wet glue. And sandwich them. And this is the bit that, you know, you take your time actually building. It's when you come to once you've done all of this effort, they build really quickly. They come together so easy, and they're so realistic. So think about all those craft projects now you're going to have to be able to build these in. And you can cut these out of whatever medium you like. So obviously we've got our crepe paper here at the moment, but these could be your Fleurs flower foam in foam, of course, in whatever colour as well. And then also, don't forget you can do it out of your cardstock if you wish to, out of vellum. So when we're not using them as green elements, so your green fleurs or your cardstock, and turning them into the mistletoe, you can absolutely, can you imagine cutting these out of, book pages and doing something really different with it. Pop that on there. So that's my final one. So I'm not going to cut that off just yet. I've got them all in a row. So now, grab my tape, because again, this is just fabulous to be able to use this. This is floristry tape, and you activate it. It's got a wax in it by pulling it and stretching it. So I'm going to start with this first piece, like so. Start wrapping that. And even though these have got paper on them, I do like to wrap in a little bit of that extra. I'm going to trim some of this one off. Okay. I'm going to wrap this element like so. But I'm going to pop that here and then wrap it in place like this. Then the next one, I'm going to look where it comes to the end and then wrap that in. And remember, we've got 3. So that's 1, 2, and then another one. And I'm going to move these, I'm rotating them round the wire, okay? Like so. Then we've got another one, and I've moved that to the edge, because when we start opening this up, again, I'm looking where that comes, so they're on the same one. And then we bend all these out and open it up, and it creates a very open, because we've gone with the different sizes as we move further down, it gives us lots of space to pop in those polystyrene balls. Okay. And by doing this, we're not wasting those precious wires, because, you know, at the end of the day, we want to get as much out of our craft as we can. So another bit of tape, just going to add back on where I finished, wind it round a couple of times. Now bring in the larger ones. So this is just a fairly small one. It's not one of the bigger ones, but you can do them as many or as little. So then that final larger one, like so. Okay, and now I'm going to wrap to the end of those. Just keep going until it's all covered. Now again, I'm going to save some of my wires because then I don't have to pop that one off. And that one. Okay, and then just a little bit extra tape on the end. Like so. And I like to wrap on that end like that, because then none of those wires are actually sharp enough to hurt anybody. So what we're now going to do is lift all of these up like this. And now we're creating a really nice little mistletoe, and I've done them in threes. So pull them all out like so. I'm pulling them all out and shaping them like this. Yeah, and now I've got space, and because they're all individual, I can now pop in those polystyrene balls, which I've got my lovely little white, I've got my 1.5 centimetre ones here. So a little bit of hot glue, and then just place them in on the stem where you want them to be. I'll pop that one on there. Then I'm going to rotate it a little bit because I want to put another one in. Pop another one in there next to that one. Then a little bit more hot glue. So we now got our lovely mistletoe berries, and these, adding these in, really do bring it to life. So we'll pop that one in at the other side of there, and then we'll have one at the top. And again, if you're using your snow paste, etc., you can add in all of your glitters and your snow paste. Now I've put all those on, I can just close that up a little bit around that mistletoe. Okay, and that makes our fabulous little mistletoe. Aren't they adorable? So thank you very much for joining me and watching. I hope to see all of your creations that you make. Remember, you've also got the pine cone along with this, so you can use both of it, and they are going to make a beautiful addition to all year round, but quintessentially your Christmas ones. So your Christmas foliage is going to look divine, okay? So add this into your Fleurs collection that maybe you've already got. Everything that you'll need is on our Highlight Crafts website, and I hope to see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.